Hello YouTube, welcome back. I'm getting ready to kind of do a little restoration, I guess you can say, of this Federal Signal Street Hawk light bar. This was originally a police light bar. You can tell by the red and the blue wigwags, but it hasn't had any lenses since I got it, and I haven't really found any good deals on some lenses. But I came across a deal on the marketplace. A guy had a couple clears, a couple ambers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a tow truck light bar out of this one. So I'm going to remove these. I have a couple extra clear ones, so it'll just be clear all the way around on the bottom. Some amber lenses. I started going through, took my air compressor, blasted it out. This thing's been sitting up on my shelf for a number of years, so it's pretty dusty. You can tell one of these also got broken over time. Probably something landed on it. So I think I have some extra ones of these in a parts box. If not, I'll try to see if I can fix that one. I got a couple bulbs I'm missing. But I'm going to go ahead and start working on this and kind of turn it into a little tow truck bar. All right, so I kind of got into it a little bit. While I had all the reflectors off, I checked all the motors to make sure they were all spinning. After sitting for many, many years with no cover on it, they were all kind of stuck. None of them wanted to spin. So I had to work them back and forth. I got them to where they're all spinning. This one wasn't working at all, so I did swap it out. I do have a box full of a bunch of miscellaneous parts, motors with these gears and such like that. But I do like the slower rotation look, the slower RPM ones versus the fast ones. So I swapped out both center ones with slower rotation. So now all four of them rotate at the same time. So I got those all working, ready to go. When I went through my box of parts, I did have an extra of these, but it's the one with the plastic. And obviously, even if I clean it up really good, it's not going to quite have the same look as the aluminum. So you see where I just kind of used like some JB welding, kind of filled in that cavity. I'm going to try it this way first, see if it holds up. If for some reason it breaks again, I'll just drill the little rivet out that's right here and transfer that one over to this carriage right here. But for now, instead of taking this all apart, I'm going to see if this works out just fine. So the next step is going to be to order some light bulbs and start slowly putting the thing together. All right, well, I'm going to be going a different route with this light bar. I was originally going to be using the amber lenses. Now I'm going to be using the clear ones. And here's the reason why. I went online because I have 3 bulbs I got to replace. And I went online to try to find, this style halogen bulb with, that clip system. And obviously I checked all the common sites that you're going to check for stuff like that. And the cheapest I could find was like 37 bucks a piece. By the time you add tax, possibly shipping, you're going to be $40+ per bulb. And I got 3 bulbs to change. So you're going to be somewhere in the 120, probably 130 something dollar range by the time you with tax and the whole 9 yards. So as I shopped around a little bit more, and I actually found a link that has LED replacement bulbs for the Federal Signal light bars. They're a direct replacement for the halogens. And I know LEDs don't always look as good or don't always project the same as the halogens, but being that it's not going on a car or anything like that, it's just a display. It's not going to be a big problem. 2, I'm going to be saving a whole bunch of money because if you buy in bulk and they consider 4 more a bulk, you get them for $9.28 a piece. So by the time I buy 4 of those with tax, shipping, all that kind of stuff, I'm going to be paying the same price pretty much as 1 bulb. So I'm getting 4 for the price of 1 instead of just buying, three of the other ones and paying 3 times the price. So, but that got me thinking, since I'm going to be going LED and I'm going to be reducing a lot of that excess heat that's going to be generated in this area, I can go with those transparent filters that lock into this spot right here. And what that does, that's going to give me the option to pick colors. I can make this an all blue bar. I can make this an all red. I can do red and white. I can do blue and white. I can mix it up and put 1 amber in there. Or I can even almost make it look like the light bar like on the second Ghostbusters movie where they had like 3 or 4 different colors in there. It just gives me the option to have a little bit of fun with the light bar and do something different with it as far as color wise. So, but right now I ordered the bulbs. It's gonna be a little while before they show up. So in the meantime, I'm going to continue tinkering with it. All right, so that quick skit that you just saw was me going through the party store. This is pretty much what I found right here. I picked these up. Now, they didn't have any more green in the bowls, but with a little bit of heat, I'm sure I can crown that if I want to go with the green. But you see where I picked myself up a green, a red, a light blue, a dark blue, even a purple. I do have some amber filters because they didn't have any amber bowls or anything like that were smooth texture. They were all had texture. But let's be real, if I'm going to put ambers on there, I'll just use the lenses. But I do have these from a previous bar that I took those off of, but obviously I'm not going to use those. If I'm going to go amber, I'll just put the amber covers on instead of using the clear. But you see where I gave myself a nice little variety of lights I could use for it. Now, if I do want to put one amber, like I said, I do like the whole Ghostbuster light bar thing. I can always put one of those in there in the sequence and stuff like that. Well, it is. I took one of these with me just to play it safe. And you can see how when I put this on here, where it would normally sit, in that cradle right there, if I line it right up with the edge of the bowl, you can see how well it actually fits against the reflector in there. So it's actually going to fit pretty nice. So I took that with me just to play it safe. So for starters, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut one out of the dark blue, put it on the one bulb that's actually working so I can see what it looks like, and then we'll just kind of go from there. All right, so I put the first one on. Obviously, the only bulb that I have that's working. You see, I got it sitting inside there. Turn it on real fast just so you can see. Doesn't look too bad. Now, I will say though, unless the LED drops it down a little bit, as far as intensity, the light blue probably would not be worth putting on there because it's probably going to almost look almost white at that point. Because even that right there, I mean, you can definitely tell it's blue, but like in the camera, when it flashes, it almost doesn't look blue. So I probably won't mess with the light blue, but I might experiment a little with the purple and the red and stuff like that. But I'm going to go ahead and make obviously one of each color so I can kind of tinker with it. And then the next step is going to be just to wait for the light bulbs to come in and then make a new cover for it. Okay, well, I got all my pieces cut. I got my purples, my blues, my reds. Unfortunately, the greens didn't work out as well as I wanted them to. Those two don't really look that good. These two came out pretty decent. And I got my ambers. For now, while I'm waiting for those light bulbs to show up, I don't have a center cover for this. And I kind of went online. I don't really see anybody that has one of those for sale at the moment. So I'm going to be attempting to make one. So I do have this one right here that I'm kind of using as a idea of how, the little clip works, and then how it kind of has like this little area that's bent right here. So I have a piece of an old car roof. I always hold on to just extra metal. You just never know when you're going to use it. So I cut myself a section here, measured it out so it should fit. I left a little extra. Right now you can see where I got my little tabs, and then the section I'm going to be bending for that little front piece. So I'm going to take a pair of like duckbills. I'm going to work this metal to kind of create that look. Then I'll cut out each one of the little tabs, bend them to fit inside there, and then I'll work on bending it in the two locations where it goes up and over the lens. So let's see how this works out. All right, so pretty much all I got now is I got to sand this down nice and smooth to get rid of the burrs from using the tin snips. But other than that, I think that'll work just fine. Now I know I have the speaker grills down here that you can see, and I'm not going to have them up here, but I was actually going to paint all this whole lower section black anyways. Even if I do find a new grill, I was going to paint this black, just because I want to kind of go have the black here with the black on top of the lens, with the black on the base here, kind of tie all those pieces together, and then you just have the clear. So I'll be pretty much my painted black. A lot of that's going to kind of vanish a little bit, but there we go, cover. All right, so I got the new bulbs in. I got to say, I'm actually a little disappointed with them. When I read the ad or the description, it said it was for that it would fit Federal Signal light bars. They do, but they do not, without some form of modification in order to make it work. And I'm going to show why. The original bulb, you can see, is squared out and has these little tabs that kind of hang up, and these tabs right here play a part in the retaining ring that holds it down. When you look at the aftermarket ones, you see they're completely round all the way around the whole thing, and they do not have those little tabs on. And what the problem is with that is the retaining ring is notched, to fit around, the lights like this. Obviously, they do not fit around the light bulb. I thought, well, maybe, because at the bottom, you see the bottom is rectangled, so you see where it would fit here. I thought, well, maybe this collar needs to be moved down a little bit. But if you look very closely, you can see there's a wire. The negative is soldered right there. So if you start pulling on this thing and moving it down to create enough of a gap to push that in, you're probably going to break the ground and the light's not going to work. So you're not going to be able to do that. So what I started doing was one of them, you can see very crudely. I know I have a couple extra of these. I'll probably take my Dremel and actually Dremel it out much nice and cleaner. But I'm gonna have to cut it out in order for this to fit inside here, like that. And then the other thing I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to take a washer and put a washer on the bottom side here to essentially shim this up a little bit to allow it to where when this goes on top, it puts enough pressure on there to hold it down. So they did come in. I got one installed. I'm going to show it to you real fast. Does look good, but I'm kind of disappointed that they really don't actually fit like they really should have, being that they're advertised as that they would fit a Federal Signal light bar, because all the Federal Signal light bars that have this style halogen have that kind of retaining ring. So as far as I know, there's no difference. So, but let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so you see I got the one in here. I used the Dremel to kind of round that one out a little bit nicer. I got the washer up underneath there, and then here's the regular bulb. I'm going to show the difference between the two bulbs. You can see that obviously the LED doesn't project as the same as the halogen because it's broken up into 4 different little segments instead of 360 degrees, but it still doesn't look bad. So, but I already got the bulbs, so I'm going to make them all work, and once I get them all in and working, then I'll start playing with covers. All right, so I got the whole bar fully done. Everything's all put back together. Everything's working as it should. The homemade cover fits really well. I got it screwed in place, got it painted. I'm very happy with how that actually turned out and how that fits. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the entire bar. I did go with the purple color. The reason why is because I already have blues, reds, whites, ambers, greens, and stuff like that in my collection, and all the combinations and everything. And I wanted something a little different. And purple is actually a color that's actually used. It's mainly for the funeral industry, and obviously you might see them at party lights and disco lighting and stuff of that nature. But they are used for the funeral industry, and I don't have anything like that in my collection. So since I gave myself the ability to really customize this bar, I decided to go that direction with it. Right now, I have the bar in reverse because what I did is I took that same plastic and put it in the rear flashers, the rear wigwags, so this way you can see that. Now, it is the same color plastic for both, but since the light that's projected from an LED versus projected from a halogen bulb are a different form of lighting, so you'll notice that they'll look a little different, but it is the same color. It's the same color plastic. So without further ado, here we go. This is the rotators. This is going to be the rear flashers. And then I still have, the front takedowns and the alley lights are all working still as well. Now, what I wanted to do with this video, after I made that big change, the reason I wanted to really share this was because doing it this way really gives you the ability to customize the bar and personalize it to however you want. Say you picked up one of these bars and it's a fire truck light bar, so it has the red and white in there or something like that, and you want to make yourself a very traditional, say, LAPD bar with the blue and the red and that kind of stuff. You can go to a party store, pick up the same kind of bowl plastics that I did, or I'm pretty sure you can find that same stuff like on eBay and Amazon, that kind of stuff. As long as it's a clear, transparent plastic, you can pick whatever colors you want, and you can pretty much make this bar exactly what you want it to look like. And it doesn't have to be a Street Hawk. It could be a Vector. It could be an old Aerodynamic. Any light bar, Code 3, even like some of the oddball bars. As long as it has it to where you put the filter directly on the rotator, reflector portion itself, which is the easiest application, you can do whatever you want. So that's why I really wanted to share this bar, because it really shows how much you can personalize it in this manner. Now, you can still do this with the halogen bulbs, but if, say, you were going to use it with the intent that it's going to be ran for long durations of time, I'm sure that the plastic would probably distort over time with the heat of the halogen bulb. But by me converting it to the LED like I did, I'm never going to have to worry about heat problems like that. It would never get hot enough to distort that plastic. So if you went this route and did the LEDs, you would never have to worry about it. If you did the halogens, I wouldn't recommend putting it on your car and running for hours at a time, because it probably wouldn't hold up. But I really wanted to show, because hopefully this actually, someone watched this video and says, wow, I have that same kind of light bar, with the clear lenses. I can do whatever I want with it now. I mean, this is a really good idea. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was very helpful for somebody in the future, and thanks for watching.